Hi everybody, this is Julie Bean with Beadaholique, and welcome to our 8th episode of Tips for Selling Your Handmade Jewelry, and this is where I answer some of your questions that you've asked in the other videos. If you're just joining us, please go back and check out those other videos. We have a ton of tips for pricing your jewelry, doing shows, selling online, photographing your jewelry, all sorts of different things. And these are my personal tips and tips I've learned from other artists throughout the years. Okay, so I've gone into those videos and I've checked for questions and I've written some down in my notebook. So I'm gonna be answering some here and then I'll do other videos throughout the year answering more questions as we get them. So the first question that we have is, should you calculate the cost of your tools into your prices? For me personally, I would say no. And I'd say no because that sounds really complicated and a lot to keep track of. I would just count your tools as your startup costs. Every business costs a little bit of money to get going, and thankfully the jewelry making business doesn't cost a lot compared to other businesses, and I would just have that as just an expense that you had to start with. Now, I also wouldn't buy the most expensive tools in the world to start. I would go with some nice mid-range tools. We have a lot over at beadaholique.com. Beautiful selection right in that mid-range. You don't need the most expensive tools in the world to start. All right, how to build your stash. I would shop the sales and the clearance sales. So I love a good stash too. I always want more beads. I feel like the more beads I have, the more creative I can be. And we do have a ton of sales at Beadaholique as well as clearance sales throughout the year. So definitely check that out. And I apologize because my kids are laughing in the background. So you might hear that throughout this video a little bit. But if you sign up for our email and our newsletter, you're going to be able to get notification for those sales, shop them early when they have the best selection, and you'll be able to really build up your stash that way. All right, how do you set a price for secondhand beads? Okay, so I think what this person was asking, and we got a lot of great comments on this, is if you find some beads secondhand, or maybe you're given some, how do you factor in their prices in your jewelry making? I would count them as if they were new and just count it as a great bonus. Like, that's extra profit for you. I don't think there's any reason to count them at a lower price point. I would just pretend that they were new and calculate that into your cost. Okay, do you set different prices for different hourly rates for different types of products? Okay, so when we were doing our tips for pricing your jewelry, we talked about setting an hourly wage. And let's just use the $20 number. That's an easy one to work with. I would not necessarily set a different hourly wage for different types of products like bracelets and earrings. Again, I think that complicates things a lot, but I would also look at your finished piece and see if the price makes sense. So let's say you do $20 an hour for a bead woven bracelet and it takes you 3 hours. Okay, you're at $60 for your labor. Okay, that might be pretty spot on for you add your supplies and maybe it's a $70 bracelet at the end of the day. Now, if you're making earrings and you can make 10 pairs of earrings in 1 hour and your labor cost is, $3 or $4, and then your materials are maybe $3 and you're at $6 for your selling price, that's gonna be probably too low. So maybe you can sell that jewelry for $20 or $25. So just look at what the piece is and kind of what other people are selling similar pieces for and adjust accordingly. So I would not stick to the formula if it doesn't make sense once you've looked at all the factors and it's too low or it's too high. Adjust accordingly. Go with your gut. Again, I would not sell a pair of finished earrings for $5 or $6, even if that's what it comes out to for your cost factor and your labor factor. They're probably gonna be able to make a lot more than that, and that's great. You'll make more profit, and that's wonderful. Let's see, another question was taxes and business licenses. Okay, this one kept coming up again and again, and I do wanna say I am not an accountant and I am not a lawyer, and I don't wanna give advice about legal matters and tax matters. Yes, you will be paying taxes. I think that's just part of life. We all pay taxes, whether we have a job with an employer, whether we do freelance, whether we have our own business. Now, it will vary per state, and it will also vary based on the type of business you have, your deductions, your total income, all of that. I would talk to an accountant. I would find a local accountant in your state and I would have a consultation with them, and they're going to give you some really good direction on what you're going to be able to deduct, so you'll know what receipts to save. They're also going to give you probably direction on the type of business you should establish and tell you who to contact to set up a business. And that's per state. Every state's going to be totally different. So I would definitely just have that consultation, and they're going to give you a lot of great resources and a lot of great information to get you going. Even if you don't use them as your accountant, they'll still let you know what you need to do if you have that consultation. So that would be my best advice, is really talk to an expert on that one. Okay, we had some extra tips for what to pack for a show. Hand sanitizer, a calculator, great tips. I would also do a sun hat. Now that we're making this video series and it's summer, definitely a sun hat would be great. Water, snacks, things like that, especially if it's an outdoor show. I really appreciate all those tips that everyone else is sharing. That's a great thing that we can all share these resources and information. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the tips that I took, or for the questions I took off of the videos that we've done so far. Some of them have only been live for a couple days, so I know there's going to be more questions that come up. I will definitely answer more questions as they come, so please go back and watch those videos, and then write your questions and I will get to them, and we'll do more of these answer your questions videos. And there's my kids again. So thank you so much for watching this. I hope these tips have really helped, and please keep sharing, and the best of luck with your business. Have fun. It's so much fun making jewelry. It's fun being able to turn it into a business. So thank you for watching, and keep track of what I'm doing over at Beadaholique, and we will keep sharing more resources, more tips, and more shared experiences here. Thanks, everyone.